Welcome to St. Augustine this evening, the Mike Davis Show, and I am a tired golfer. I don't golf very much, but today was a special event, the Young Life Golf Tournament, raising money for our local Young Life Club, which I was at when I was in high school eons ago, when we wrote on stone tablets, and we had candles in the room for light, but it was about that long ago. Amanda wasn't even born or thought of being born back in those dark ages, but no, it was a great tournament. It was out at Marsh Creek. Course was in really, really good shape. I got to play with my three boys, Reese, Ethan, and Matt. It's the first time we've ever all played golf together. We played golf sometimes in a larger family group, but never together in a foursome. So a lot of fun playing golf with those guys today. And again, a great cause and a lot of fun stuff they had.
That's awesome.
Yeah, really, really cool stuff. So
Cool.
So thanks for putting up with us being a few minutes late starting. And Amanda held down the ship. She wrote down 5 questions for us, but when I came in, I accidentally erased it.
Nope, that's not what Amanda did. Amanda was doing personal business while I was waiting for Mike Davis to show up. My bad.
I tried to cover for you.
Now I fully take ownership for me thinking of really great things to do after the fact.
Well, and we have a lot of news for you today. We got a really good week. We got guests both tomorrow night.
Yep.
A new sponsor will be in, and then we
Awesome.
have guests on Wednesday night as well. So yeah, we're kind of loaded up.
It's gonna be a great week.
It's going to be a good week.
My last week.
and then
Our last week.
Our last week in November, because we're going to take off the week of Thanksgiving.
Yep.
I've got a ton of family in town. Amanda's going to be gone, and rather than patch things together without the wonderful Amanda, because you know the show goes on without me. Not so much without Amanda. So let's make a little money so we can pay for Amanda's vacation.
There's only so much producer magic I can make happen in my absence.
This is true. And we were going to be gone anyway, like Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
So there was no need to jam Monday and Tuesday.
Right on.
All right. So Salomon Services, it's the premier place for personal training in St. Augustine. They specialize in both youth and adult classes. They have small group strength and fitness development classes, speed and agility development. If you've been injured, they can help you get back in shape, stronger, faster, whether it's getting back on the court or on the field. Speaking of field, their facility is a state-of-the-art with both indoor and outdoor turf fields, and all coaches are certified through the National Strength and Conditioning Association. Give them a call, 904-461-9945, or visit their website, salomonservices.com. Sign up today.
Absolutely. And Bozard Ford Lincoln in St. Augustine, their goal is to make sure your time and experience buying a car is stress-free, fun, and enjoyable. Bozard is a family-owned Ford dealership that's been in business since 1949. Bozard Ford Lincoln has been the recipient of numerous dealer awards, including being ranked #1 automotive dealership in the nation by Dealer Rater. Bozard Ford has also won back-to-back President's Awards, which is the highest honor given by Ford Motor Company. Check them out today online at bozardford.com or head on down there, have a Jiffy Burger at Ford's Garage for dinner. We've got Powell Heating and Air Conditioning. Their dedication to customer service has been evident in everything they do. For the 39 years they've been a locally owned business. From the moment they answer your call until the time they leave your home, they are working to make you comfortable and confident about the care and service you receive from Powell. With their fleet of 10 plus trucks, a 15,000 square foot warehouse stocked with parts and equipment, they're ready to serve you around the clock. They service all heating and air conditioning brands, and their emergency service is always open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, including nights, weekends, and holidays.
All right, before I forget, last week I did buy a car from Bozard Ford.
What?
I did. I bought a car. So I did. And I will explain in a minute, but I don't want to forget. So
All right,
I want
I'll write it
to
down.
give them full credit. Moultrie Creek Diner and Anastasia Diner. These neighborhood diners are more than just a place to eat. They are where hospitality blooms and friends gather. Bring your own friends or make new ones. The coffee is always hot, the smiles are genuine, and the food tastes like home. Every meal is a chance to make memories, share stories, and create bonds that last a lifetime. It's not just about the food on the plate, but the community that comes together at the table. Come see us at Moultrie Creek Diner, Anastasia Diner. Tell them Andy sent you, and for a discount, say go Dogs. The Dogs did win this weekend, so I think the discount's going. Yes.
They did.
They did. And Darcy and I made the mistake of sitting and having an extra cup of coffee and tea on the back porch.
Okay.
And by the time we got to the diner on Saturday, they were swamped.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of a bad thing to say about a Georgia facility, but they were swamped. They handled the Gators. They're okay. Andy
Yeah.
can take it. But anyway, I went back Sunday morning. So I had a
Nice.
great breakfast there. It was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Got to talk to the staff. They're just really cool people.
Did you have your fungus-free omelet?
I had my fungus-free omelet, and I had great coffee with honey in it, and a
Okay.
biscuit, and some bacon, and it was awesome.
Awesome.
It was great. Just what I needed to
Good
start my
times.
Sunday. So yeah, and then Bozard Ford, we had a friend who was upgrading in a car, and they had a 2022 Bronco that was in great shape, and so we ended
Yeah.
up buying that. And it was just it was easy. Patrick Robertson was the salesperson. He was phenomenal. Just a really easy process to get in and
Very
out of
cool.
there. Really, really good folks to work with. So really happy to be able to say that. They've been our sponsor for a long time. And
Mhm.
yeah, so there's a Bozard Ford car in the garage. So
Nice.
use
You're
the people.
wearing an offensive shirt. It's bothering me.
This is not offensive to anyone in the ACC. If a last place team offends you, shame on your soul. Shame on your soul.
I was a Clemson Tiger all my life.
Yes.
I was born into it,
Mhm.
and Clemson sucked for a very long time while FSU was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up in
Yeah.
FSU territory. So I have been heartily abused by FSU fans for more of my life than I've been able to look sideways at them with a smirk.
Well, people told me today, I'm really glad you're wearing your Seminole shirt. And I said, well, I can't wear it to a football game, but I can wear it on the golf course.
All right.
I mean, fair enough, right? I mean,
Mhm.
that's about the only place I can wear. I think we'd still have a good golf team. So
I don't know.
that's kind of where I'm at. It's like, yeah, it's good.
That'll work.
Yes, that's where we're at. So
So it's not that I'm currently not happy
Mhm.
with FSU. I have deep-seated trauma from my childhood.
yes. Kenny, I have a Jeep as well.
Yeah.
My wife likes the Bronco, and that's her car. I have a Jeep,
Yeah.
and I have my truck. And
So
I'm-
it's not
I'm
a
good to go.
manual.
No, it's not
She
a
does
manual.
not love driving
No,
that
she
stick
she
shift.
loves driving a stick shift. It does. She drives a Jeep all the time. It's great. But yeah, this is more her car, and it's something she's wanted for a while, and just kind of got the right deal and the right thing. So yeah,
Nice.
yes.
I regret every day that I did not go to Bozard Ford, and instead I went to Coggin Honda in 2020
Are you still
out
fighting
of
the van?
desperation. Oh, it's tragic. It's terrible.
Is the
van-
AC fixed
the
yet?
van sucks. No, because they keep denying that they're not fixing it. They keep acting like I'm going in there and rooting around and doing something to it.
Have you called Canamero yet? No, you need to call is Jessica Clark.
I don't know
You
who I
need
need
to
to
get
call.
Jessica on this.
I need
Pete
Coggin Honda to
Pete Melfi needs to get on this. If Pete Melfi was in charge of this,
Oh.
you'd have a new van.
I can't stand Coggin Honda.
You'd have a new van. 100%
I have to get
new
oil
van.
changed this week, and it's always traumatic because something else is going to be broken. I'm going to go in for a free oil change, and they're going to tell me I owe them $1,500 in order to get my car back. I hate that van.
I couldn't go back there. I'm just telling you now. Every time you tell me to go back there, I just go like, why?
I don't think I'm going
You can
to.
break up with them, you know.
I don't
You
think
can
I'm
go
gonna
somewhere else.
We go to Goodyear for our tires. Goodyear by Cobblestone Publix. That one.
Mhm.
And so I'm probably just gonna go there for the oil change because they're much more honest and treat me better than Coggin Honda. I've been putting off the oil change because I wanted my husband to deal with it, but we've had so much going on, he hasn't been able to deal with it. So I think I'm just gonna go Goodyear. I can't stand Coggin Honda.
There's places to go. Yes. If you've been somewhere and you've been mistreated, don't go back.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Don't go back. If they're not going to make it any better, don't go back.
Yuck.
So yes, do not go back. Do we still have a coach at the Jaguars?
I don't know.
Do we still? I'll have to look that up. I have to look up and see if we still have
Were
a
they
coach.
talking about firing the coach?
It was a rumor going around the golf course today. You can't trust golf course rumors, but it was a rumor going around the golf course today that maybe the Jags got a new coach. So
We'll
I know
see.
how quick you are at figuring all that stuff out, but I'm not sure. That,
Jaguars Doug Peterson still evaluating potential staff changes.
how about all of them,
Everything's
Doug?
on the table.
How about all of them, Doug?
Despite reports of a potential firing, Jaguars coach Doug Peterson took the podium on Monday for his regularly scheduled press conference.
So it was
They're
just a rumor.
evaluating.
It was just a rumor.
Yes.
Look, he's got talent this year. There have been years they haven't had talent. They have talent this year.
Yes.
So when they have talent, I kind of look at that and go, Yeah, you got the. Oh, I see icebreaker questions up there.
I worked.
Somebody's
I
researched
worked.
a little
Look,
bit.
this is what you wanted also.
Yes. Andy wants us to send Van Strange to fix the van.
Dude.
There's some symmetry there.
Or he could just murder the van. He could like steal it and murder it. And then I can, claim it on my insurance and get it.
Right now, you're reminding me of the Seinfeld episode where the guy, the mechanic or whoever got in the car and left an odor, and Jerry couldn't get rid of the odor. So he basically gave the car away to somebody to steal it, and they got in the car and almost got you.
I know.
It's kind of how I feel about your van right now. It's kind of, yeah.
It's a crusty white lemon.
Yep. Yes.
It's changing colors every day because it's a defective paint job, and they knowingly sold me a car with a defective paint job, and they're not taking ownership of it.
Yeah.
And so it's slowly turning multicolors.
Susan Johnson's all happy that the Bills beat the
Dude, they
Swifties
did. Night. The boys, so the girls in my homeschool class today were sad about Kansas City losing. The boys were like, yes.
Josh Allen had a play in the middle of that game somewhere where he went on a run. And I think he individually beat 7 players from the Kansas City Chiefs defense.
You know what it is?
Which is just amazing. Hats off to him.
My theory.
The first one would have crushed me and buried me in the ground.
Is that their kicker, Harrison Butker, who was embroiled in controversy because Christian men says Christian things with Christian students at a Christian university, and non-Christians flipped their ever-loving lids about it and tried to get him fired, and the Chiefs stood by him. He's injured, and he's going to miss 3 to 4 weeks of games. And so my theory is that Harrison Butker is injured, and so they're not going to win while he's out. We'll see.
I don't know if that's it or not. I'm not there. So yes,
it's all about the Butker.
Yes,
I forgot my cord.
Susan Johnson. He was tossing him aside as he ran. He kind of was, but I got to tell you, it was like Steve Young-esque.
Yeah,
Steve Young had some plays back in the day where he was just a beast running, and that's what it looked like last night. So
all this talk about Bozard Ford, and we didn't do the Bozard Ford community update. Do you want to talk the horseplay second annual Nights Under the Stars?
Yes. When is that? Where is that? How can people sign up, and will you put it in the comments?
I will put it in the comments. So let me see. I plugged it in late. Yep, we got it. We got a Night Under the Stars at the Tringali Barn. So this is a second annual gala. It's December 2nd. This is the wrong date. Hopefully this is the same one. Tringali Barn. Let me double check the date because this one came up in search.
Double check that.
And it might be the wrong one.
You find the right one because Task Force Hydro 1.
Ooh, he did it right.
Task Force Hydro 1 is having their annual holiday party. It's December 14th, 2024. 3 p.m. at the Volano Beach North Shore Community Center Firehouse. So come on out. They'll have spam. They're having a spam contest. Ooh.
Spam contest?
Bring your A game and your spam game. Remember, it's not just about the taste, it's about the mono, the thought you put into the presentation. Think of it like Chopped Meats Hawaiian Iron Chef, first prize for the best, and a special mahalo for trying award. Let's say most creative. And then, hey, don't let this be your only dish. We're not here to starve. We're here to feast. So they are going to have this event. It's going to be amazingly fun. And they do have a Mission 50 paddle event on May the 3rd, 2025. So that's a bit out for them. But again, December 14th, Volano Beach, North Shore Community Center, 3 p.m. You can go online to Task Force Hydro 1 and get tickets. I don't know why it's so hard for you to say that.
I know. It's so hard.
I don't know why you struggle with that.
It's kind of like me having to slowly process that I'm about to say the name Kamala.
Yes.
In order to say it right. It's
as long as Lenny's not here, nobody cares. Literally, no one cares because she pronounces it multiple ways too.
She pronounces it multiple ways. All of the people that care about her never say it consistently. All of the people that make sure they yell at you if you pronounce it wrong never pronounce it consistently. It's very annoying.
Yes.
So I don't want to get yelled at. And I stand by the people say names wrong all the time, and nobody cares.
Yep.
Nobody cares.
That's right, Manda.
That's true.
That's true.
Yes.
All right.
I am mostly
Did you
Manda.
Find out when
their website hasn't been updated on the new one, so now I'm scrolling their socials.
Okay. So when you find that out, you'll let us know, and
I
we'll
will.
keep updating. I know the event, I
Yes.
think, is in a week and a half or so.
Okay.
But we will find out exactly when it's put in the comments because they're a great organization doing really, really good work. I want to
They
get
are.
them. All right. We have all kinds of kind of political news.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to just let you guys know there's a lot of talk about, well, if you're on the left and the right, you can't talk to each other. So
Stop it.
I talked to a lefty friend of mine today who's been on this show. I'm not going to name names. It's
Mhm.
not Lenny, but I had to talk to him about something for work.
Mhm.
And I started the conversation with, hey, I'm just checking in with you. How's your mental health? And he laughed and I laughed. And I said, I just want you to know you're one of the few people that I can say that to.
Yeah.
That you grew up in the 70s and 80s, and I know how mentally tough you are. So I can say these things to you, and I don't have to worry about you taking offense at that.
Yeah.
And we were laughing and joking. And you know, he kind of made some comments about some of the different appointments. And I just simply said, look, the people that are screwing us over the hardest are the ones we never elected.
Yeah.
These bureaucrats and all of these different institutions are the ones that are taking advantage of us. And I said, I'll take any disruptor we can get to shake that system up.
Yeah.
On your side, it was Bernie Sanders, and he got rigged out of it twice.
Twice.
Your own party rigged him from having an honest, fair vote both times. And so for me, that was your guy. We have Trump. And I said, we just kind of went through a couple of departments and what we thought was wasteful about them. He's currently dealing with a department. I'm not going to say the name of the department or what he's doing, but he said the red tape is unbelievable and he's just trying to help people. And so we finally kind of came to the agreement that it didn't matter who the president was, that there was a major misspending on some of these institutions and way too many people involved in them. And then I informed him, and this is probably, you might want to duck for this one because we'll probably both get audited for this. I'm starting a clock right now on how long before the audit happens. But the IRS, did you hear this story today?
No.
Over 800 IRS agents are currently behind in paying their taxes.
Are you kidding me?
You haven't heard the dollar amount
No.
yet. Don't get righteously indignated yet.
But I need to.
You need to. So under the righteous indignation tab, you can now get upset because it's in excess. They owe in excess over $12 million in back taxes.
How much are we paying these people?
Enough not to pay their taxes.
Dude.
I know. The audit's coming. I'm going to just walk in here like tomorrow morning and tell you I'm being audited.
Can't with
But
these
yeah.
people. What is going on?
It's to me, it's just symbolic of what's wrong with Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
That ought to be the first rule. Hey, if you're going to be an IRS agent, you got to be up to date on your taxes. You have to do that. You can't get away with that. You can't slide by on that. You have to get that done.
Well, that's like, who was the guy that Obama tried to appoint as, was it over the IRS? The Secretary of Finance or something who hadn't paid his taxes and he claimed it was because of TurboTax?
I don't know. But if you're going to be in charge of the border, your passport better be up to date. If you're going into the military, you better be in shape, right? If you're going to run the Department of Education, you should at least have a college degree somewhere along the line, right? I mean, there's some simple things you look at, right? If you're going to be in charge of Health and Human Services, you ought to be in fairly pretty good
Timothy
shape. Timothy
Geithner, Treasury nominee.
Yeah.
He had failed to pay his taxes. He owed $34,000 in back taxes. And when asked about it, he claimed that he paid them through TurboTax. And so he didn't fail. TurboTax failed him. And so, yeah, they called him TurboTax Timothy for a little while.
Yes.
And TurboTax Geithner. Timothy Geithner. That's who it was.
So in my mind, those are the things, right? You ought to be doing.
Yes.
But my liberal friend and I did have a conversation. We talked a little bit about some of the people that he was upset with that had been nominated by Trump to different cabinet positions. So let's just get the one out of the way we need to get out of the way. And that was Gates.
Okay.
I saw a video this morning where Matt Gaetz was going around with a reporter and he was going to the door of offices for people in Congress who who were in charge of different committees and how many stock trades they were making in that sector. So the person in charge of the energy committee had made lots of stock trades in energy, and the person in charge of another committee had made all these trades. And again, with all this information and knowledge that they had, and he said, this isn't right, but nobody investigates this. No one talks about this. Look, I think Nancy Pelosi is a royal pain if you're a Republican. I really, truly do.
Yeah.
At times, she has outsmarted Republicans. At times, she has stepped all over herself. She's doing it right now. But the one thing she is excellent at, and it's the one thing I would take advice from her on, is stock trades.
Yeah.
I would,
Well,
if she walked in this room right now and said, this is the stock trade you would invest in, I would stop the show, call a broker, and go, I need money in this right now. Nancy Pelosi just told me about it.
Yeah. Well, she's not the best anymore. She's been unseated. She doesn't have the highest one. It's the guy with the eye patch. Who's the guy with the eye patch?
Dan Crenshaw.
Dan Crenshaw.
From Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a better record in the stock market now than Nancy Pelosi.
So I think there's a lot of
Dan
there.
Crenshaw,
Somebody
man.
just needs to go through and start looking at how much there is there. Did you find it? The third
Are we
end?
sure that this is happening now? Because all I'm finding is April.
I will find
April
you the
at
information.
Tringali Barn.
I will find
Okay.
you the information.
Sorry, guys.
I got it somewhere. It's in a bag. I just didn't have time. So
All right.
yes.
It's in the
The
bag.
other one that we both agreed on
Mhm.
is the rant that I have been on multiple times, that everybody in the CIA, the FBI, not the FBI, the military, the Pentagon, right?
Yep.
And the State Department, who wrote any memo or paper or opinion that the Afghan government and military could stand on their own 2 feet, every one of them should have their pension ripped from them. If they're still in the military or the State Department, they should be fired and never hired again.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That was the biggest debacle in my lifetime.
was.
It lasted 20 some years worth of lies, and nobody's paid a price for that. Not a single
Not a single
person. But we lost troops. We lost money. We left equipment over there. In my mind, it's the biggest boondoggle that has happened to this country militarily since I've been alive.
one. Mm-hmm. It was insane.
And I was alive for the end of Vietnam as a kid, a little baby.
just barely.
Just saying.
I mean, we had a monument. Someone put up a monument in my neighborhood
Mm-hmm.
for the 13 that died in the Afghan withdrawal.
Mm-hmm.
And that was up for over a year.
Yes.
And because everyone in my neighborhood, regardless of how you voted, agreed that that was a travesty.
Mhm.
And so it was on like a public area, a communal area in my neighborhood, and everyone respected it. And the people that cut the grass, because it was on grass, the people that cut the grass would move it and painstakingly put it back perfectly. And so they
Mhm.
maintained it.
Well,
I mean, that was a nightmare, man.
and people in DC are freaking out over Pete Hegseth becoming the head of the. It's like,
A Fox News commentator?
oh my God. I'm like, look, he's fine. And they're actually digging up dirt on him.
If only he had served in the military.
If only he'd gone to Harvard and Princeton.
I thought that was
If
supposed to make you
only he'd
qualified for everything.
received not one, but 2 Bronze Stars.
Yeah.
If only.
If only.
If only. So I don't have any problem with him running that. I think that bureaucracy has gotten so big, unless you're kissing the rear end of other people in the bureaucracy, you're not going anywhere. If you're an outside the box thinker,
Yeah.
It's not helpful to you.
It is not.
No. Not helpful at all.
I just want the Bureau of Efficiency, Doge Department of Government Efficiency. I just want them to slash it.
Mhm.
I want them to make Calvin Coolidge look conservative. Well, liberal.
Yes.
Just take an axe to it, dude.
Yes.
I'm so like, taxes don't have to raise if we wouldn't spend so much money, if we wouldn't waste so much. Can we just end baseline budgeting and put some sort of performance efficiency in place so it's not just seniority? It's not just, you've passed this number of tests, so you automatically get this giant raise and you automatically get this increase. Can we run it more like a business?
Yes.
I can't. I can't keep paying for all of these people to not do their job efficiently.
Yeah, I can't either. And I think the waste is, you could bring the deficit down.
Mhm.
You could bring it down dramatically.
Yeah.
Also, moving some of these departments back to other parts of the country would be incredibly helpful in
It's-
getting out of the DC mindset.
Mhm.
When 92% of the people in DC vote Democrat,
Yeah.
that would tell you there's a silo there
Mhm.
of singular thought. And that is awful for our country. That is awful and terrible.
The
So,
the only place that might vote Democrat more consistently than the DC metro area would be academia.
yep.
Might be the only place
Oh,
with
I
a more
completely-
consistent voting record.
I completely agree with that.
Ugh, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So, thoughts on Trump walking into the UFC Madison Square Gardens fight to a hero's welcome?
I think that this go around, people have embraced Trump because of what he's been through, and quite honestly, what the left has put him through. That people in the United States recognize it as a coordinated attack to try to bring him down, and it made him more popular. Every bit of that lawfare has backfired. Had they not done that, had they
Right?
left Trump on social media to continue to, when they took Trump off social media, he couldn't put his foot in his mouth anymore.
I know.
And
If-
and so all of a sudden, and when they quit covering him, if he said something outrageous at a rally, no one saw it.
Yeah.
So they did it to themselves by censoring him, going after him legally, going after him with 3 or 4 different cases.
Mhm.
And that was one of the other ones. I was kind of like, well, will Matt Gaetz do a good job? Merrick Garland was in front of Matt Gaetz.
Merrick Garland is tragic.
Matt Gaetz grilled him. It was beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as you don't like him, you have to at least go, well, okay.
I mean,
Well, okay. I didn't say you had to love it. Just say, well, okay.
some tools are useful.
That's a okay in my book.
If he's going to be a tool, then he might as well be a useful tool. That's all I'm saying.
And the other is Tulsi Gabbard,
Mhm.
right? She was a Democrat presidential candidate.
Mhm.
They were happy to have her because she filled out diversity
Oh, she clicked
on
so
the
many
stage.
boxes.
She clicked the boxes. She
Mhm.
was a veteran. She was a woman. She was an ethnic woman. And now she's a Russian agent. Well, what the hell?
That
You
was
guys
Hillary
had her on a
Clinton.
stage with 17 other people, and you weren't worried about her being a Russian agent then when she was running for president. Do you not see the hypocrisy in this? Just a little bit of hypocrisy.
So I hope that Donald Trump stepping into politics maybe has shown a giant spotlight on the corruption of the Clintons. There was already a spotlight on the corruption of the Bidens. We just pretended that wasn't a thing because people couldn't stand Trump so much, and there was that virus we don't talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, search Biden Inc. It's an article. It breaks down the corruption of the Biden family, multiple members of the Biden family, and how it's all connected. I mean, Biden was not who they wanted in that position, but that's who they backed ultimately. So I hope that it shines a light on the corruption of the Clintons, especially Hillary Clinton, and makes her completely irrelevant moving forward. I think that it's shown a light on Nancy Pelosi, and that she is not the effective, puppet master behind the strings. She's not the strategist that they need.
Yep.
Maybe she worked in the early 2000s, but not now. So I hope that it ends Nancy Pelosi as a political mover and shaker that makes things happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Matt Jeffs was in here talking about how the generation that is got a stranglehold on Washington needs to be replaced with younger thinkers. And it really seems like this last election really shook up the old guard and has them back on their toes.
Have you
or
seen
back
how
on their
many
heels.
Gen Zers are in Trump's cabinet?
Oh, yeah.
A lot.
A lot.
There's a few baby boomers.
Uh-huh.
There's as many baby boomers
Almost
as there are
none, though.
millennials, though. There's a mix of like 2 of each one. The rest are all our generation, which I'm loving this. I'm loving it.
Well, so I heard the theory that Donald Trump's walk-in to Madison Square Garden at the UFC fight, he had some of the people that are suddenly considered controversial figures in politics around him to that hero's welcome. And I heard someone strategize that it was a shot across the bow to the neocons and the rhinos that remain in the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look how popular these people are. You better not stand in the way.
Yes.
Do you think that there's any merit to that hypothesis?
I don't go too deep on that.
That's kind of what we're doing right now.
I know, but I just, to me, showed up an event, and that is his crowd. It's a bunch of men, and he connects well with men. If he had gone to The View, he's not going to get the same reception. If he had gone to the Bill Maher show, not going to get the same reception.
I think Bill Maher would be.
It's the audience. The audience that goes to Bill Maher leans left of Bill Maher.
The audience on the Bill Maher show does whatever the man with the cue cards does.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Because this laughing is involuntary. It just is. And so that's why they got so mad at Jimmy Fallon for tussling Trump's hair, having him on and then tussling Trump's hair, giving him a venue that he's comfortable in, that he can shine, make people laugh, and then Jimmy Fallon treating him like a human and seeing that Trump isn't this thin-skinned autocrat that can't handle a joke at his expense. I mean, Jimmy Fallon talking to him about his hair and whether or not it's a toupee, and him being like a confident dude and being like, well, just mess up my hair, show everybody.
Yep.
I mean, that they can't have that because that opens people's eyes. This is not the dude I was told he was. I was told he was a thin-skinned narcissist that can't take a joke at his expense and his finger's on the button and someone's going to insult him and he's going to hit the button. They can't show him as a human that has a sense of humor about himself.
No, they cannot. And that's why when he would go on Saturday Night Live and all these other things. And you know, the McDonald's was what a great campaign.
That was fantastic.
And then when he got in the dump truck.
Yeah.
The garbage truck. What a great. All right. So the other hypocrisy thing that happened today. Morning Joe Scarborough from your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Why are all these scoundrels from your neck of the woods? Why are all these scoundrels from West Florida?
I don't know.
You want to explain that to me?
You know what's crazy about Joe Scarborough?
Yes.
So he's the son of the people that ran the pageants that I was involved in.
Yes.
And so my parents were excited about him stepping into politics. He stepped into politics as a Republican because we had known this family through this pageant organization. And so they were excited about him. And at first he didn't suck, but then he stepped aside.
Oh, man.
And I think he drank the tea of the like media elite and the intelligentsia of DC. And he just had to be one of the cool kids.
He was suddenly invited to parties he'd not been invited to before. And the more stuff he said about Republicans, claiming he was still a Republican, which he's not, made him even more popular.
It's the more he bashed his own side that he got reinforcement for that. And now he's essentially Mika Brzezinski's purse puppy.
Did you hear what happened?
No.
Oh, you have not heard.
I've been a homeschool.
You have not heard.
I've been talking about Jane Eyre to a bunch of 15-year-olds.
The news broke last night and into this morning that last Friday, Mika and Joe went down to Mar-a-Lago and had a face-to-face meeting with Donald J. Trump to try to mend bridges and to get things back on track. And I
they
think
were super friendly.
they were very friendly when he was a Republican candidate in the primaries because they thought that if they got him enough juice to win, that Hillary would crush him. And when Hillary didn't crush him, and then when he didn't kowtow down to them or cater to them, they turned on him.
Yeah.
And in a really, really bad way and said awful things about him.
And
now,
he said terrible things about them.
Yes. Now, I am going to say Donald Trump. We've been loyal supporters of yours since 2015. I've not gotten a lunch at Mar-a-Lago. I didn't say anything mad about you. I've said some stuff that I think is truthful about you, but in no way, shape, or form have I said anything like this. I've not gotten a phone call. I've not gotten an invite to lunch, right? I would gladly hoof it down there tomorrow and have lunch with you. You just tell me where and the when of this, but no, you're a little busy picking people for the transition.
I might need a ride. My van's not going to make it to Mar-a-Lago, but I'll be there.
I'll take Amanda. You do not need to send the private jet. We can drive ourselves. We are self-sufficient and we can do this. We're not taking the jet. I'm drawing the line there.
So mean.
We're going to be our own people. We'll drive our own car down there to see him.
I'll give you gas money.
And then I'm going to stop and buy the biggest $500 clunker I can and drive it into Mar-a-Lago, just like Eddie Murphy did in Beverly Hills.
We'll be like the Clampets.
No, Beverly Hills Cop.
All right.
When he hands the keys to the valet and said, keep an eye on this. All this stuff happened the last time I was here.
Yeah.
Yes. So.
Perfect.
Yeah. No, I just.
My daughter wants to be your son.
And MSNBC staffers are mad at Morning Joe hosts for going down and meeting with Donald Trump. Their ratings, the ratings on MSNBC and CNN are free fall. They're in absolute free fall right now.
Yeah.
They're cratering because their audience said, wait a minute, you told us Trump would never come back. You told us this would happen and that would happen and this would happen. And this was Trump's last day that he'd ever get to run for president. And every time he said that, it didn't happen. So they have lied to their audience enough that their audience isn't coming back.
No.
Rachel Maddow actually went after Tulsi Gabbard in a not very
How
nice way.
did that work out for you?
Well, may or may not have said some things she shouldn't have said.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes and whether or not there's any cases that arise out of that. I'm not an expert in that kind of law, but there are several people who have said what she said about Tulsi. And we love Tulsi for one reason and one reason only.
She destroyed Kamala.
Well, but that's your reason. I like her because she surfs. I'd love to go surfing with her.
Get on it, buddy.
I'm telling you, let's go surfing.
I just want to high five her because she destroyed Harris on that stage.
She did. But she's not smart enough to do intelligence work.
Oh, my word.
I guess you couldn't call that intelligence if she beat.
It doesn't.
There's so many jokes right there, too.
It takes the slightest bit of literacy to be able to outwit Kamala on the stage. In completely unrelated news, MSNBC and NBC News is undergoing layoffs.
So is CNN.
They've been undergoing layoffs.
So is CNN.
So do you think, conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat, do you think they were like, maybe we can mend bridges so we're not on the layoff list?
I don't. There's a big change in media coming. Donald Trump, you talked about him breaking some political establishment, families and parties and norms. Yeah. That I don't like that they were norms.
He destroyed dynasties.
Yes.
People were setting up dynasties for politics.
Yes. And so for me, gosh, every day. Let's go. Keep going. All right. Do you know who Paul Krugman is?
Isn't he the Nobel winning economist that's always wrong?
You are amazing today. We did zero show prep and you just knocked that out of the park.
Because I have a very beloved liberal friend and he and I very much enjoy going back and forth when we're both in the mood for a debate. And he always brings up Paul Krugman and it's a particular sticking point.
Please tell him to quote anybody but Paul Krugman. Quote the janitor before you quote Paul Krugman on the economy.
He clearly didn't study fallacies because he's definitely an appeal to authority fallacy of he won the Nobel Peace Prize. And be like, didn't flippin' Hitler win the Nobel Peace Prize?
No, he was man of the year. Yasser Arafat won a Nobel Peace Prize.
Barack Obama won a Nobel Peace Prize for existing, and he was the droner in chief.
Yeah, there's like when some of the people have won it, you look at him and you go, nope, don't need that.
Yeah.
You do without that award.
Turns out that award is of no use.
It's a tarnished award.
Isn't it?
In my mind, some of the people that have won it have tarnished it.
The one who originated the Nobel Peace Prize, wasn't he involved in the Zyklon B experiments that created Zyklon B for the Nazis?
I don't know. Maybe. It's possible. You're going to look it up. But Krugman, New York Times columnist Paul Krugman predicts Donald Trump will take credit for all of Joe Biden's economic successes over the past 4 years.
Yeah, all those successes.
Nothing says I'm more disconnected from the world than Trump wouldn't take credit for any of the misfortune that Biden has hoisted upon the American people. So, no, I don't see that at all. Anticipates that the president-elect's fans have no idea of the damage his policies could cause. Paul, we've lived through the Biden years. We know what damage is. We've gone to the grocery store, jackass. I wonder when the last time he went to the grocery store is. In 1998, he famously predicted this about the internet. By 2005, it will become clear that the internet's impact on the economy has been no greater than the fax machines. Did he win a Nobel Prize for that statement? I'm just asking. Did he?
Fax machines
The
are
fax machines.
good.
So, yeah. I'm also looking up the Pennsylvania Senate, and Dave McCormick is still in the lead, even though Bob Casey is cheating in Bucks County. So,
Uh-huh. So Alfred Bernhard Nobel is the one that established the Nobel Peace Prize. He was a Swedish chemist, inventor, engineer, and businessman. He's known for inventing dynamite. He made several other important patents throughout his life. I'm still looking to establish whether or not he was involved in the Zyklon B.
I'm not
It
sure.
might have been fake news, but dynamite, very peaceful, sir.
You'll figure that out.
I'm working.
You'll
on it.
catch up. All right. Anything else that you have? I know we said we'd probably go for about 30 or 45 minutes and trying to catch up so we don't screw Pete's algorithm up too much.
I can overwrite it. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Well, as long as somebody
All right.
can overwrite.
So do we want to do 5 questions? I
Yeah,
found
let's go.
25 best Thanksgiving icebreaker questions. Not all of them will apply, so I figure we just go through and disregard or answer at will.
Fire away.
All right. Basic number 1. What's
Mhm.
your favorite Thanksgiving pie? Are you a classic pumpkin pie kind of guy?
I'm not a pumpkin pie guy.
All right.
I'm really not. Darcy does some ice cream pies
Mm-hmm.
that are absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Pretty much anything with a graham cracker crust, and you've got me.
Mm-hmm.
If it's graham cracker, I think one year we couldn't get the Oreo crust for the ice cream pies, and we had to buy graham cracker, and we're like, we're not going back to Oreo.
That's way better.
Oh my gosh, like this is game changing.
Yeah.
So that's probably my favorite. A good apple pie.
Mhm.
I'm a sucker for apple pie.
Yeah.
Warm apple pie with a nice piece of ice cream.
Nice.
Big old scoop right there, and I'm good with that. Vanilla ice cream. Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Vanilla
Yes,
on apple pie.
It's the
That makes sense.
best. Well, that's me.
Yeah.
I'm vanilla and I'm apple pie. That's me. It's just, yes, got it.
So my favorite homemade pie, and I
Mhm.
enjoy making them, are lemon meringue pies. I love lemon meringue pies. I
Mhm.
don't know if it's very Thanksgiving-y, but that's just my favorite pie.
We always had mom loved making those.
Yeah.
And
My grandmother's sister was a great baker, and
Mhm.
that's the pie she taught me how to make. So that's my favorite.
I think until I figured out how much sugar was in the meringue topping, I probably loved it. But then at some
Yeah.
point in time, an entire part of my body said, if you continue to eat that, it probably won't be healthy for you.
Well,
So,
meringue cookies are an excellent alternative if you need a gluten-free cookie, because there's protein in meringue.
I know, but there's.
I mean, there's sugar,
There's
but
you didn't see my mom make it.
okay.
You didn't see my mom make iced tea,
Mm-hmm.
sweet tea.
I make unsweet tea.
I didn't know you could put a 5-pound bag of sugar
Into a gallon.
into a gallon of iced tea. But man, was it good iced tea.
There was like an unwritten competition
Mm.
at my TGI Fridays of who could make the sweetest sweet tea.
Yes.
Because I mean, Destin, Florida, it's the redneck Riviera. We would get people from Alabama and Georgia, Mississippi, Louisiana
Mhm.
all the time on vacation. And so if you didn't have one of the good people make your sweet tea, then you were going to get complaints that this is unsweet tea.
Oh no, and if you go
It was a syrup.
if you go to restaurants, they're like, oh, we don't have sweet tea, but we can make it for you right away. You're like, no. Just bring me the unsweet tea. Do you want a sweetener? No, just the unsweet tea will be fine because anything you do to it
Yeah.
in its cold state will not make it sweet tea.
Yeah.
It will just
It's
ruin
not going to work.
the unsweet tea.
It'll just be gritty. So my
Please don't ruin mine too.
my favorite store-bought cake that we typically have for Thanksgiving is chocolate silk pie, or pie, not cake. Chocolate silk pie. You ever had that? It's delicious.
From the Village Inn and only from
Ooh,
the Village Inn. And at Christmas time, they do it with multicolored little chocolate pieces on top
Oh,
that
yeah?
are red and green with
Oh, yeah.
the white whipped cream.
Like crumbled up
That,
M&Ms or
that's
something?
another one that I can do, but I wish it
Mhm.
was on graham cracker crust instead of the pie dough crust. It'd
Yeah.
be so much better. But
So
just saying, Village Inn. If
the
you
one
want to
we
do
get is a Marie Callender's, I think.
one. Mhm.
And it has like a chocolate cookie. It might be like an Oreo crust. It's really good.
I
It was good.
it's a good pie.
It was a good
It's
pie.
a very, very good pie.
All right.
Now, yes, Andy, it's not sweet tea. It's tea without sugar. Yeah, I
Yeah.
completely agree.
It's
But
just brown
I'll
water.
take it's just a tea, but
Mhm.
yes. All right, next question.
Next question. If you had to pick between being in the Thanksgiving parade or the Thanksgiving football game, which would you pick?
As a kid, always the football game. I'm still thinking the football game is probably more fun than the parade. I'm just not a parade guy.
Yeah.
When we first got married, and St. Augustine has the Easter parade, they have the Christmas parade, they had Thanksgiving parade, they had the 4th of July parade. Darcy was like, we got to go to all of those.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I haven't been in like 10 or 15 years, but if you want to go, we'll go.
Yeah.
And we went to a lot of those parades over the years, but I'm just not, I've seen enough. It's like, I saw a parade. Good. I can check the box. I'm good. I don't need to go to Macy's. I don't want to see the Macy's Day Parade. There's too many people. I'm not a huge fan of crowds.
Yeah. If I got like all expense paid trip to the VIP package of the Macy's Day Parade, I would do that. I've never been to a parade here. My family was just not let's wake up early on a Saturday and stand on the edge of the street and wave at people. So unless I was in the parade, I didn't go to it. So I marched in a couple of parades back home. Matt Gates was not with us. And then I'm supposed to be in the Christmas parade this year.
Yeah.
It's the Saturday after we return from our international travels. So we'll see if I get out.
If you can make it.
I'm supposed to be.
I would go
with the kids.
I might just go to heckle you.
Yeah. Well, the 904
it's been a while
guys.
since I've heckled anybody in
the
a parade.
904 guys are rumored to maybe be attending.
I'm sure that they are.
There's a 904
and I am
collaboration.
sure that I will get a written invitation.
You already did, actually. It was in your text. I was a part of that invitation. It's in your text.
What?
Uh-huh.
I think you're on a different group text than I am.
So, long story short, even I would pick the football game
Having
over
your football
the
game,
parade.
the parade.
They almost never happen at 7 a.m.
Yes.
All right. Favorite Thanksgiving tradition?
I think for me now is I the deep fry cook.
Yeah.
So I deep fry several turkeys, usually 3 because we have a pretty good crowd.
Yep.
I'm unsure whether I'm doing 2 or 3 this year. We're trying to figure that out. I have 2 deep fryers and I kind of stagger them so they come out. They can be
Nice.
cooled and carved and they're not coming out at the same time.
Very nice.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The first year that we did a deep fried turkey, we also were cooking fish. We'd catch fish on Friday. That was a really super fun tradition. We won't be doing it this year because of the location of where we're going to celebrate Thanksgiving. But my brother-in-law, who is a huge germaphobe, huge, walks up and he looks at the oil after the bird has been taken out. And there's droppings and drippings and all this stuff in the bottom of the oil. And he's like, wow, there's a lot of stuff in there. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, did you bring more oil for the fish tomorrow night? I'm like, yeah, sure. We got more oil. 100%.
Zero chance there's more oil.
And he walks away and my son Reese looks at me and says, Dad, that was all the oil we had. I said, I know that. You know that. But I want him to eat the fish tomorrow night. So, I mean, we're going to take the stuff off the top. We're not going to dig down to the bottom where all the other stuff is. We're going to heat it up to 400 or 500 degrees again, whatever
Kill
the temperature
everything.
is. And then we're going to put fish in it. So it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Everything will be okay. And what he doesn't know won't hurt him.
Yeah.
He's still alive today. I was right. So, yeah, I was like, yeah, no, we would never do that. He's also the brother-in-law that wanted to help one year. We were cooking. We were frying fish inside on a cooktop, which is horrible cleanup.
Terrible.
It's terrible. And it was only about 15 or 20 people, so it wasn't a big deal then.
Fish more stinky and harder to aerate your house.
This is why I got into the deep frying outside.
Yeah.
And then said, well, if I'm going to do all this deep frying for the fish, let's just go all in and do the turkey.
Yeah.
But the very first year, he's so funny. He said, what do you want me to do? I said, well, I need you to take that raw fish and I need you to dip it in that raw
You made him
egg.
dredge?
And then
You made him dredge?
Then you have to dip it in. in the breading. It was
That's
was
just a sensory nightmare.
it was so amazing. Every few minutes I would look and go, "Where is Uncle?" And Reese and Ethan would be like, "He's in the bathroom washing his hands again."
Did you teach him how? You didn't teach him how to do it with a fork?
No, you can't do that, Amanda. That's not right. So the next year, I felt really bad for him.
I'm sorry, Uncle, whoever you are.
So I brought him a pair of gloves, rubber gloves. And I said, "Hey, you ready to get to work again?" And he said, "I'm doing the same thing this year." I said, "Yeah." He reaches in his back pocket and pulls out his own pair of rubber gloves. So he had a sense of humor about it. It was fine. All the kids got into it over the years and helped.
Did you get him the like hot pink pretty princess gloves that has like bracelets on it?
I didn't do any of that. He's a Tennessee fan. I thought he might like them.
Oh man!
Somewhere Andy better be laughing at that joke.
So my husband does amazing meat and cheese trays, and so we do just an inordinate amount
charcuterie.
Yes.
Okay, I knew there was a term for it,
or affectionately termed in my house charcuterie.
Charcuterie.
So he makes charcuterie boards, and we make an inordinate amount of deviled eggs. And so we're all gorged on delicious meats and cheeses and deviled eggs from the charcuterie board. Like, it takes over the whole bar top in the center of our counter, and all of the adults are there, and we have to like block out the kids, and every now and again like throw them a cracker, and just to keep it to ourselves, because the kids would decimate all of the berries and the crackers and then just leave us with none.
Yeah.
So we do that. And so by the time we actually get to Thanksgiving, I'm pretty much toast, which is fine because I honestly don't really like the food at Thanksgiving.
I love the food at Thanksgiving.
We had our community Thanksgiving feast today. And I was like, I'll have some of the turkey off of it's like a potluck that we do every year at our homeschool community. And the turkey was so smoked that my hands still smell smoky.
I'm not a smoked turkey fan.
I didn't know it was smoked turkey. And I took a bite of it and it was like sucking off a cedar log.
There's a lot of people that really like smoked meat. I'm okay without.
My grandmother would order a smoked turkey and we'd all be like, "Really? Don't we want to do a fried turkey?" "Oh no, I got the turkey."
See, and I think Thanksgiving is in some ways more fun than Christmas.
Yeah.
Because like Christmas this year is on a Wednesday. So a lot of people have to work half a day the day before.
Yeah.
And then if you're faith-based, you're trying to get to church. If you're not, you're trying to get all the rest of your stuff done Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And you usually have family over dinner, and then you have this mad dash of opening up gifts. And when the kids are little, it's kind of funny. Our kids are all much older now.
Yeah.
So Christmas for us is like 10 minutes of really having fun and talking to one another. But it's more about all the other things around it. But you don't have 4 days.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving's a 4-day kind of feast where people roll in on a Wednesday, roll out on either Saturday or Sunday, and you get to spend more time together as a family. And there's not all the gift giving and all the anxiety over that and the worry over that and finding the right gift and did I get them the right thing? And so for me, Thanksgiving has just been a lot of fun.
Since I work at a church and it's a liturgical church that does Advent candles, the purple and pink candles, I think the perfect day of the week for Christmas is Thursday because it's far enough away from Sunday where you get to light the fourth candle.
Yes.
That Christmas Eve doesn't feel rushed on Advent 4. So you get some time, but then it kind of becomes its own 4-day weekend and you get a little bit of space before Sunday service. So you've got Christmas Eve on Wednesday and you've got all the services. I'm at all of the services on Christmas Eve. If my kids aren't working it, then I'm working it. And then Christmas morning, I've had to work some Christmas morning services. And so then it gives you a little bit of break. That's the perfect space out. You've got Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Sunday again. But I've worked primarily when it has not been on Thursday. I don't know if it's ever been Thursday since I've been working at the church.
It'll be Thursday next year.
I know. So
2025 is
it's been weekend Christmases, and that's just it's so much.
Well, it changes.
I know.
One day every year.
I know, but it's been like on the weekend.
It's been all over the place. See, we look at the calendar and we look at where all these events are. because they impact us, right? If the
Yeah.
4th of July is on a Monday, great. If the 4th of July is on a Wednesday, that messes up an entire work week.
Yeah.
And same with Christmas and New Year's, right? If
Mhm.
they're closer to the weekend, great. If they're one day away from the weekend, everybody makes them a longer weekend. Great.
Yeah.
And a lot of companies, like the 904 now, very successful company. Have you heard how successful they are?
So successful.
They take 2 weeks off at the end of the year too.
It's
They're
huge.
it's a big thing. If you're a successful company, that's something you do.
Mhm.
Yes.
Nice.
Keep listening. Did I say the right thing at the right time?
All right. So I think we've got
Yes.
that one. Do you think marathons are acceptable on Thanksgiving Day? Why or why not?
Sure, as long as I don't have to run in them. If you want to torture yourself, you go right ahead.
I have
If
had
that's what you want to give Thanksgiving for, run your little heart out.
I have counseled my children in finding a spouse to make sure you find out before you commit to them as a life partner whether their family is turkey trot early on Thanksgiving Day kind of people, or if it's in your pajamas watching the parade and staying home on Thanksgiving. Consider that before you make your life
Oh,
decisions.
I don't know.
We are not a turkey trot people.
We
are not a turkey trot
We did
people.
one last year, and I think we're going to make one up this year if we can't find one.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of the younger high school and college kids that
Mhm.
and post-college kids that are very athletic and don't mind doing that kind of stuff.
I know.
You know,
Your family is very fit.
they just really
You are all tan. You are all outdoorsy, fit people.
I love the outdoors.
Mhm.
This is killing me in here.
I'm an indoor cat.
This LED light that that we installed in here is no. I just like the I like being
Mhm.
outside. Being out on the golf course today was beautiful. It was one of the most amazing days,
Mhm.
and it's supposed to be I think 49 this weekend.
Yeah, the temperatures are supposed to drop.
It's going to
Awesome.
warm up again. It's Florida.
gonna
Don't worry
get-
about it.
Cool, so that I can leave the country.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, which is a better flavor, pumpkin spice or caramel apple?
Caramel apple.
Yeah.
I'm not a pumpkin spice person. Pumpkin just doesn't do a lot for me.
Well, it's pumpkin spice isn't pumpkin.
It just anything with pumpkin, it's like that's okay. Like the Charlie Brown Great Pumpkin Special was like, Linus, find something real. You know, like Rudolph.
You know, pumpkin spice doesn't have any pumpkin in it. It's the spices that you put into a pumpkin pie.
It's okay. I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm good. I just don't. It is probably. You know what I think goes in candy corn? Pumpkin spice.
Shut up.
It probably goes in candy corn. That's probably
You're mean.
what goes in there.
It doesn't, because Davey gave me an assortment of fancy candy corn, and one of them was pumpkin spice candy corn flavor. And I tell you, that is not original candy corn. It was. They also had caramel apple candy corn. Yeah.
I am losing my appetite. I
My
was
kids-
so hungry. I was sitting here 5 minutes ago thinking how hungry I was.
My
And
kids
if
had
you
a
mention
taste
candy
test.
corn one more time, I'll just skip till breakfast.
They had a taste test of candy corn
Blah,
where they guessed the flavors.
blah.
If it's, I mean, I don't really like either one. I like caramel, so I guess I would lean
Mm-hmm.
caramel apple for flavor. But in a candle, give me pumpkin spice candle all day long, because it's cinnamony and fall smells. It's great.
I wasn't going to go there. Now I got to go there. Are the Advent candles scented?
No, they're
Okay.
unscented.
Just checking.
Advent candles are unscented.
I was just checking. I don't light them all the time, so I was just curious.
Yeah.
I know the candles we lit as altar boys were not.
They're not scented.
They were not.
Okay.
Just lit the
Typically,
candles.
the candles that are in a church are unscented candles,
I tend to agree with that.
because when you add fragrance, it's usually incense, and it's frankincense and myrrh.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else today?
Nope, we hit 5. That was 5 questions.
For
We've
all
completed Monday.
for all of you that hang around, come back tomorrow. Davey will be here tomorrow. We have a movie to watch. What is the name of that stupid movie I'm supposed to watch tomorrow?
It's not a stupid movie.
What's the name of the movie I'm supposed to watch?
About Time. It's called About Time.
that movie. Damn it. Okay.
You know what? You had a good day golfing outside. Go and sit with your wife and watch this movie.
I don't know that we have time to watch the movie. Because to find time to watch About Time is too much time that I don't have right at this time.
You need to be the main character or a male member of the main character's family. You know why?
Who's the lead person in this?
Nobody knows his name.
Okay. All right.
We can't pronounce it.
Okay.
But he's excellent in this role. But Margot Robbie's there. And
Blake
Rachel McAdams is there.
I mean, honestly, if I go on Blake's grading scale, she's a mid. I don't even know what that means, but Blake told me that.
This is before her Barbie movie. And you see boobies in this movie.
After the Barbie movie, he said low mid.
You see boobies in this movie.
Trying to behave myself.
Why?
You're
among friends. No one will tell.
Okay. No, you guys will. All I got to do is mention X number of minutes in, there was a booby scene, and you and Davey will take that and run with it for 10 minutes.
I'm the one that told you guys there's boobies in this movie.
All right. About time. I got to watch between now and 5:30 because we have a guest coming in for the first half an hour, and then we're going to do movie review. Hopefully, I'm not going to take Davey's movie soul.
This is my movie.
And crush it. Or yours.
I'm really curious whether or not you'll like this movie because, I'm curious because Troy was like, oh, you're going to love Life is Beautiful because of the father-son story, and you hated it. This has a very strong subplot of a family that really loves each other, and it spotlights that between the father-son relationship and then the brother-sister relationship. But it's also a man who wants to fall in love, and he falls in love with a woman, and that's kind of a funny way that they get together, a funny, interesting, funny, haha way that they get together. And then he becomes a father. And so there's a lot of interesting family dynamics in this movie. So it's not just a romance, there's family dynamics in it. So I'm really curious if you actually watch the whole thing, which I don't think you will. But
How long is this movie?
I don't know.
Can we keep it under an hour and 20 minutes?
No, because this isn't the 80s anymore.
Okay.
Do you like the movie Love Actually? I'm just curious.
What's that about?
Love Actually.
Who's in it?
It's a Christmas movie. Hugh Grant's in it.
Oh, I don't know. Hugh Grant, you lost me at Hugh Grant. The only good Hugh Grant movie is The Gentleman. Have you watched The Gentleman?
No.
Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, we have another.
Colin Farrell.
Isn't this the drug dealy, English drug dealy movie?
It's epically good. Guy Ritchie directs it, and it is a very, very good show.
It's philosopher Matthew McConaughey. I'm not the biggest fan of philosopher.
It's not really philosopher. No.
I know, but Matthew McConaughey, the philosopher, is not the same Matthew McConaughey as the rom-com Matthew. That's my favorite Time to Kill and rom-com era Matthew McConaughey.
It's a great movie.
My favorite.
It's some of the stars and the actors in the movie are just phenomenal.
Andy, that's what she said. Too deep. Sorry. I'm a child.
All right, you children, before I get in any more trouble at home with your comments.
If you watch this movie with Darcy, then it would be a very special date night. My husband was in the room. I watched it with my daughter, and my husband enjoyed this movie. He was working, but he got into it quickly because it is a compelling story. Mm-hmm. It's not an action movie, but it is a compelling story.
Bobby, it's not as good a Christmas movie as Die Hard.
Love Actually?
Few are.
There's lots of boobies in Love Actually.
I'll take John McClane's sockless feet running across glass before I get excited about any of this.
There's the porno stand-in couple in Love Actually. And it's hilarious, but I didn't know that couple was in that movie, and I went to see that movie with my mom and my grandma.
Did your grandmother tell you guys about it? Because if she did, that's scary.
No. I was sitting next to her during Jerry Maguire as well. So the Never Stop Effing Me scene was real fun to watch with my grandmother.
Well, at least you didn't take her to see Wolf of Wall Street.
No, I did not.
I hear the opening scene of that was quite something too.
I hear Margot Robbie's a mid.
Yeah. All right. We'll be back tomorrow. Margot Robbie, you're not a mid. You're an amazing actress in person.
She's gorgeous.
You're
She's very
gorgeous.
talented.
We're just joking with you. Just what we did.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good night. We'll see you guys tomorrow with Superstar Davey.